All right, week 7, all about STP and not the oil. Segmentation, targeting, and positioning. This is a critical part of marketing because this is the first step in market strategy, which is selecting a target market. So you have segmentation, targeting, positioning. Segmentation is taking an entire market and breaking it down into homogeneous segments, or people that are like-minded that might want a product or a particular service. So for example, Nike, just in shoes, in that particular market, they do multiple segmentation. They have shoes for running, baseball, soccer, basketball, hiking, walking, everything that you could have a shoe for. And with each one of those markets that they have a separate marketing mix, okay? And they're all different. So the first step is you always take a whole market and divide it into segments, okay? The second step is market targeting. And you look at it, you look at all your segments and you go, okay, which segment might be viable for us? What segment is large enough to sustain us and has enough people to buy the product and hopefully rebuy the product? All right, and there's 3 steps or 3 different ways, I guess, you can do target marketing. One is undifferentiated. That means you don't do any segmentation at all. And those are commodity markets because there's no discernible differences. So things like lottery tickets, we don't do any segmentation for. Produce, we don't really do any segmentation for. Even though Florida tries to tell us that Florida oranges are better than California oranges, most people think it's an orange. So not really a difference. And plus, if you have no differences, you compete on price. The second way you can do target marketing is, as I said with Nike, you can do multiple segmentation. So you can take and divide up the whole market and say, I'm going to do a product for each segment. General Motors did this. General Motors had a car line, and they had a car for each particular segment of the market that they wanted. And then the last one is something called concentrated or niche marketing. And that's if you are maybe a small company or you don't have a lot of resources and you decide that we're only going to target 1 or 2 market segments and just go after those. Okay, so 3 strategies: undifferentiated, multiple segmentation, or concentrated or niche marketing. And then the third step is positioning. And I like positioning. It's an interesting study and an interesting strategy. But what positioning is what position does the product hold in the consumer's mind? Okay, and this is critical. This is defined by the consumers. So for example, if I say fast food restaurants for kids, just think of 3 off the top of your head. My guess is the first one that you think of is McDonald's. Maybe the second one might be Burger King. The third one, who knows, who cares? But positioning is really important because when people go to buy products and services, they have an idea of products and companies in their mind. It relates to branding. It's sometimes called the considered set. So like if you're going to go buy TVs and you're at Costco, what's a good brand for you? Is it Samsung? Is it LG? Is it Motorola? Do they even make TVs anymore? I don't know. Vizio is one. So what TV do you buy? Okay, and people have a considered set. You want to be there, and that all relates to where you are positioned in the mind of the consumer. Okay, so lots of meat in the chapter. So please read; it's important. You have a quiz. You also have a simulation on segmentation, and as I said before, this is the time your project really starts, and you have to get this right because if you don't get your target market right, the rest of everything that you do is wrong because everything hinges on the consumer that you choose. So you have an assignment for your team, just one, please, 1 per team, and there's 3 parts to it. So the first one is there's a segmentation chart. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It has notes, it has drop-down menus, and you need to give me 4 distinct segments of people that could use your particular product. Okay, so that's the first part, which is you have to segment your market. The second one is you get to choose one of those segments. Most of you actually probably start with already knowing what segment you want to target. Put that first on your segmentation chart, okay? But market targeting is you pick a segment, and what I need you to do is I need you to write me a target market profile. So I need to know your customer really well when I read this. Best way to do this is to think of a person you know or a celebrity or somebody like that that would use your product and describe them to me. Okay, there's a great example on Blackboard, so use it. And that is what we call a target market or a target customer profile. Okay, and then the third thing is a positioning statement. So I would like you to write me a statement of where you would like to be positioned in the customer's mind. There's a Harvard Business Review note on that. It's a formula. You fill it in. You fill in the blanks. Pretty easy to do, but think about it. Give it some thought. Okay. There's also other resources on Blackboard this week. There's VALS. There's Prism. All the things that were from, I think, week 4 or 5 when we did consumer behavior. I expect to see all of that in your segmentation chart. Okay, so that's very important to pay attention to. I'm trying to think, what else do I have? I think that's it really for the week. Oh, there's 2 corrections though, because there's a couple errors. Number 1, this will be the last week that you have a discussion post, and it is a response to the question from last week. But there is a wrong date in your syllabus. I think it says it's due on September 29th, and that's not correct. It should be October 6th, so I'm sorry for that error. And then the other thing that I'm going to change is midterm week coming up. I had the midterm test due, the exam due, during midterm break. Who does that? So I'm going to change that, and the midterm I'm going to post probably at the beginning of next week, but it won't be due till October 20th. So you'll have 2 weeks. So those of you that really want to work during midterm break can, and those of you that want to go snowboarding or travel, then you can do that too. All right? So I hope you have a great week. And as always, if you need anything, please contact me. Email, text, come see me in the office, and I'd be happy to help you out. All right? So blessings on your week. I hope you have a great one, and I will see you back here next week. Thanks.